So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, ugh.
Breaking news just got wild. Candace Owens came swinging with what she's calling the real receipts, and social media is going up in flames. She's facing massive pushback right now because apparently nobody inside Turning Point USA wants the full truth exposed about Charlie Kirk's mysterious assassination. That silence, it's looking shady, and Candace just cracked it wide open. She hinted that there's way more behind the curtain, saying powerful forces are keeping everyone's lips sealed. Then boom, she dropped screenshots allegedly pulled straight from Turning Point's own internal group chat with Charlie himself in it. According to those messages, Charlie supposedly wrote, "Just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. And I'm thinking of inviting Candace," and just like that, the internet exploded. If those words are real, it means Charlie was standing up to serious political pressure and he was losing millions doing it. Candace broke it all down live, saying Charlie had recently started pulling away from certain Israel-linked projects and aligning closer with Tucker Carlson and her. Both of them have been publicly critical of Benjamin Netanyahu and the ongoing Gaza conflict. So that alliance, explosive. People are asking one thing now. Did Charlie's shift in loyalty paint a target on his back?
Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause.
Because if those messages are authentic, this story just took a sinister twist. Candace didn't come empty-handed either. She came locked, loaded, and fearless. She said flat out, "I've got the goods." And the second she dropped Josh Hammer's name, chaos hit every platform. Viewers rushed to find out who he was. And turns out he's a Newsweek editor. That alone made jaws drop because suddenly this wasn't just a YouTube rant, it was touching real media power. According to Candace, those internal chats showed Charlie Kirk had made one huge decision before he died. He was done supporting Israel-related agendas. She claimed he told his team he wouldn't keep backing those donors. Then she hit the internet with another grenade, saying those same donors were playing into the worst stereotypes. That one line alone made entire timelines freeze. Next, she mentioned a secret meeting, a Hamptons gathering that reportedly happened just weeks before the tragedy. Several of those big money donors were there, and according to Candace, what went down in that room wasn't what the public was told. She accused them straight up of lying about the night's events. Now everyone's connecting dots that powerful people hoped would stay invisible. Then came another voice, commentator James Lee, who asked the one question that's been haunting everyone. Why isn't his wife fighting for answers?
And somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe.
He pointed out how Turning Point USA's leadership isn't demanding clarity and how the FBI's version doesn't make sense. His take sent shivers through the chat because it echoed what millions were already whispering. Something isn't adding up. And here's where it gets even darker. Talk of a hidden autopsy. Word is there was an autopsy, but nobody outside law enforcement can see it. And the so-called miracle bullet? That made everyone lose it. They said the bullet stopped cold at Charlie's spine, no exit, no ricochet, nothing. Commentators joked that his bones must have been made of steel for that to even be possible. The theories haven't stopped since. Now insiders are feuding online about who actually believes the official story. One even warned that anyone who questions it might end up like JFK. That's how deep the paranoia runs. The fear, the silence, the cover-ups, it's all spiraling into something way bigger than politics now. And once again, Candace Owens is at the center of it all. Fearless, unfiltered, and loud. Like her or not, that woman doesn't back down. Even her critics had to admit it. One host said, she's got more guts than half the politicians out there, and people agreed. While everyone else at Turning Point is staying quiet, Candace is out here demanding answers. Why is she the only one speaking up? Why isn't anyone else asking what really happened to Charlie? That question is now echoing across every platform like a drumbeat.
So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat, okay?
Then Kurt jumped in and nailed the issue perfectly. He said the second Candace speaks truth, the bots start swarming to discredit her. He mocked the typical hate comments. She's lost it, she's gone crazy. And shot back, lost it how? Nobody can name one lie she's told. And he's right, they just throw out empty insults to shut her down because they can't actually refute the facts. He said that's the same playbook used anytime someone challenges the official narrative. It's not about debate, it's about silencing. But this time the evidence is too wild to ignore. Those leaked texts allegedly showing Charlie writing, "I'm not supporting Israel anymore," were sent just 2 days before he was gunned down. 2 days. If that timeline holds, then we're not talking about coincidence, and we're talking about a man who defied power and possibly paid the ultimate price. And Candace Owens? She's dragging those secrets into the light piece by piece, no matter how dangerous it gets. This isn't just drama anymore, it's the unraveling of something massive, and it's happening right in front of us. Now, this next part had everyone's jaws on the floor because the official story sounds straight up ridiculous. The host tore it apart saying, "So we're really supposed to believe some random dude in gym shorts pulled this off? That he snuck in with a weapon, switched outfits a few times, scaled a rooftop, reassembled a gun, fired a perfect shot?"
Wow, we now have actual proof that Charlie Kirk was indeed abandoning the pro-Israel cause right before he was assassinated. Charlie just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking about inviting Candace. Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this.
Broke it down again and disappeared like a ghost? The crowd couldn't believe it. And honestly, who could? He wasn't done either. He kept asking how anyone could possibly buy a version of events that falls apart the second you think about it. "You really think that's real?" he said with a smirk. Come on, no way. The disbelief in his tone said everything. The more you look at the timeline, the clearer it gets. No regular person could pull off something that clean without serious inside help. Then he switched focus to Erica, Charlie's widow, and things got tense. "Why hasn't she released the autopsy report?" he asked. "She has the power to make it public, so why stay quiet?" That silence is what's driving the internet crazy. Because when transparency is everything, her refusal to release that document just screams red flags. And that's when he said what so many people were already thinking, that the whole lone gunman thing sounds like a movie script. He called it a staged cover-up, saying this wasn't random or emotional, it was professional.
Leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. These texts were sent 48 hours before he died. Like, we all thought this was very weird. We just didn't have the proof. I mean, a mural of Charlie Kirk painted in one day in Tel Aviv? Come on. Also, is it not kind of weird that Erica Kirk and the rest of Turning Point USA has all moved on from this?
A clean, calculated takedown made to look sloppy, but executed with precision that only trained hands could pull off. He wrapped that segment with one chilling line. "The evidence doesn't match the story, and the silence from the people closest to Charlie, that's the loudest noise of all." And that's when everyone froze, because once you line up the dots between Charlie's final days, his donor fallout, and his sudden stance shift on Israel, it forms a picture nobody wants to face. Let's start with the strangest part, the timeline. Charlie's final public appearance happened just 48 hours before the shooting. He was set to speak at Utah Valley University, and witnesses said his vibe was off. Not sad or angry, just heavy, distant. One organizer said he looked like a man carrying a secret but pretending everything was fine. And when you look at those last photos, the half smile, the glassy eyes, it's haunting. Then comes the footage, and this is where it gets dark. Surveillance from nearby rooftops supposedly caught someone moving before the shots, but somehow that video got lost during the investigation. All we've got left are a few shaky clips from cell phones, and none of them match the FBI's version. One clip even shows the crowd looking in two different directions when the first shot went off. How does that make sense if there was just one shooter? Even wilder, witnesses claim they saw men in plain clothes leaving right before the chaos began. Not guards, not cops, total strangers.
Candace Owens is the only person, somehow the only person, who still cares about trying to find out the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk. Not his wife, not his company, Candace Owens. Kudos to her.
One woman swore she saw a man whispering into a wire under his collar seconds before the gunfire. She said, "They looked like they were coordinating something. And after the shot, they just vanished." Creepy doesn't even cover it. But the biggest red flag of all? The autopsy. Multiple insiders have confirmed it exists and was done within 48 hours. but it's been sealed for national security reasons. National security? What does that have to do with a campus shooting? Every time someone asks for answers, the FBI goes quiet with a no comment. Meanwhile, Candace keeps hammering away online, demanding the truth, and all she gets back are trolls calling her crazy or obsessed. And then there's Erica Kirk. People wanted to feel for her, but her reaction left everyone uneasy. Within 3 days of Charlie's death, she was on camera. Perfect hair, perfect lighting. Reading a statement that felt scripted, not emotional. She talked about continuing his mission and honoring his legacy, but didn't shed a tear. Not one. The internet caught it instantly. She looked composed, not crushed. While fans were still holding vigils, Erica was back at Turning Point's offices, taking meetings. Staff insiders say she started calling the shots within days, reorganizing teams, cutting budgets, making power moves. The wildest part? Sources claim she shut down internal audits Charlie had ordered before he died, including one digging into foreign donor influence. That right there sounds like more than just bad optics. It sounds like control. Then we get back to the infamous Hamptons meeting Candace talked about, the one that reportedly turned heated. Witnesses said that's when Charlie crossed a dangerous line. According to Candace, these weren't casual supporters. These were elite donors with deep political reach, the kind who don't take public defiance lightly. One source said Charlie accused one of buying loyalty. Another said fists hit the table. Whatever went down, it shattered alliances overnight. And now the very same donors who were furious with Charlie, they're suddenly funding online campaigns calling Candace Owens unstable. Think about that. The same people he clashed with before his death are trying to destroy the woman exposing the story. That's not random. That's damage control. Meanwhile, Turning Point USA's silence is deafening. The group has scrubbed mentions of the audit Charlie ordered and deleted internal emails about missing funds. Insiders say they were told to drop it or lose your job. It's giving serious cover-up energies and people can feel it. Even independent reporters trying to dig into this are getting warnings. One journalist said he got an anonymous message that read, "You're digging in places that don't belong to you. No name, no threats, just that." And that's enough to make anyone look over their shoulder. The internet is now split. Half think this was just a random act. The other half think it was something way darker. And that second group, it's growing fast. They're dissecting flight data, donor lists, floor plans, and even tracking who had access to rooftop security feeds that night. Every new clue opens a new mystery. But through all the chaos, Candace Owens still isn't backing down. She's calling out Erica, calling out the feds, calling out everyone who's hiding behind official statements. In one viral post, she said, "You don't silence someone like Charlie Kirk with a bullet unless that voice was about to expose something worth silencing." That line hit hard, and it's all anyone's talking about. The craziest part? The FBI's supposed shooter doesn't fit the timeline, the weapon logistics, or the physical build witnesses described. None of it matches. Missing timestamps, mismatched footage, conflicting reports, yet somehow the case is closed. So here we are, a sealed autopsy, a widow moving like a CEO, an organization acting brand new, and a journalist getting cryptic warnings. It sounds like a movie, but it's real life. Whether you see Candace as a hero or a troublemaker, one thing's for sure. She's the only one not afraid to talk. Because if even half of what she's saying is true, this isn't just a scandal, it's a message. A warning about how far power will go to protect itself, and how truth is the one thing they can't fully bury. Now, this is where the story dives into darker, stranger territory. The kind of twist nobody could have seen coming. When people online started digging into Erica's background, what they uncovered left the entire internet stunned. Years before this whole tragedy, she reportedly ran what she called a Romanian charity for orphans. Sounds heartwarming, right? A woman helping kids in need? But here's where it turns ugly. That charity was later exposed as having ties to an international trafficking network pretending to rescue children. You heard that right. A supposed rescue group allegedly being used to exploit the very kids it claimed to save. It sounds like something out of a horror film, but those whispers have been floating around for months. And now that her name's back in the spotlight, the puzzle pieces are looking way too real. And if that wasn't already enough to raise eyebrows, another bombshell hit right after. Rumor has it, Erica's father isn't just some businessman. He's reportedly a major defense contractor connected to Israel's military sector and allegedly tied to none other than Raytheon. Yes, say that, Raytheon, the global weapons giant behind some of the most powerful defense systems on Earth. If that's even partially true, it means her family's been brushing shoulders with billion-dollar interests, political players, and global power brokers for years. It connects her entire billionaire background to a world of influence most people could never even imagine. That's what made James Lee's question hit so hard when he asked, why is Candace Owens the only one digging into this? Why isn't mainstream media all over it? Why isn't a single journalist from CNN, Fox, or NBC saying a word? Out of every outlet, every network, every so-called investigative reporter, how come the only person asking real questions is Candace? The silence is more than strange. It's suspicious. It feels like someone somewhere sent out a quiet order to shut this all down and never speak on it again. Think about it. A nationally known political figure gunned down, internal messages leaked, powerful donors exposed, a suspicious widow with foreign ties, and yet the press barely whispers about it. That's not normal. That's not journalism. That's protection. The way media is moving on so fast almost feels rehearsed, like they were told, don't touch this story, let it fade. And what really freezes people is Erica's reaction, or lack of one. She hasn't once called for transparency or demanded a reinvestigation. Not one public statement begging for truth, no emotional plea for justice, for someone whose husband was taken in such a brutal public way that silence feels heavy. It doesn't sound like grief. It sounds like someone walking a tightrope, scared to fall off the wrong side. The host even said, look, I'm not judging her, and if she's scared, that's understandable. Fear is real when you're surrounded by this level of power. That line stuck with viewers because he's right. If these ties and connections are real, then fear isn't weakness, it's survival. But then again, afraid of who? Who could possibly be pulling strings big enough to keep everyone this quiet? And maybe that's the real reason we've heard so little from her. Because if she truly knows what happened, keeping quiet might not be about respect, it might be about staying alive. Political insiders have gone silent over far less. Maybe she's seen too much. Maybe she's been told exactly what will happen if she talks. Or maybe deep down, she knows she's standing next to people who hold more power than justice itself. Even Kurt tried to lighten the tension with a joke about tour dates, but nobody laughed. The vibe was ice cold. Everyone could feel it. This wasn't paranoia, it was instinct. Something's off, way off. Then, in a bizarre switch, the host pivoted to talk about microplastics, like jumping from deep state secrets to global pollution in one breath. But that shift said everything. Sometimes even truth tellers need a moment to breathe before diving back into the chaos. And strangely, that tangent hit home. He explained how the world is filled with invisible poisons, from the air we breathe to the lies we consume. He cited studies showing the average person now eats and drinks the equivalent of a credit card's worth of plastic every week. That's right, tiny plastic particles are in our food, our water, even our lungs. One shocking study found microplastics in 100% of human lung samples tested. He said, nobody's safe anymore, it's everywhere. And it hit people hard because honestly, it's not just about pollution, it's about how corruption works too. Because just like microplastics, corruption seeps in quietly. It's invisible at first, then suddenly it's in everything. It contaminates our food systems, our politics, our media, even our movements. It's the same pattern we're watching unfold in Charlie Kirk's case. Lies spreading like toxins, power shielding itself, truth getting buried under layers of control until the world forgets it ever existed. By the end of that segment, the message was loud and clear. So this isn't just a murder mystery anymore. It's a global web of influence, fear, and hidden agendas. A web where only a few fearless voices, like Candace Owens, are bold enough to pull on the threads. And the more she pulls, the more this carefully built illusion begins to crumble. But just when you think the storm can't get any bigger, the conversation swerves again, straight back to our own lives, because it's not just lies and corruption poisoning the world, it's the actual chemicals in our bodies. Scientists say toxins like BPA and phthalates mimic hormones, mess with fertility, and even damage DNA. That's not just concerning, that's terrifying. We're being attacked from the inside out every single day, and here's the kicker. You can't just avoid it. Even if you eat organic, skip takeout, and swear off plastic bottles, you're still breathing it in. It's in rainwater, it's in the soil, it's in the air. You can't opt out, but you can fight back. That's where this new breakthrough comes in. Kimchi One from Bright Core Nutrition. People are calling it gut armor for a reason. It's loaded with over 900 probiotic strains. Yeah, 900, including a rare QG strain proven to help break down BPA. Think about that. Something powerful enough to detox plastic from inside your body. But it's not just about digestion. This stuff is full body protection. It strengthens your cells, your hormones, your brain, even your mood. Your body was never built to survive a plastic world, but your gut? That's your natural defense system. Keep it strong and it'll guard you like a shield against this invisible invasion. So while chaos floods the headlines and power keeps burying the truth, remember this. You still have control over your body, your awareness, and your choices. The system might be rigged, but your health and your voice still belong to you. So what do you think? Is Candace Owens really exposing something massive? Or is she being silenced before she can finish what she started? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, share, and subscribe so more people wake up to what's really going on. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and don't look away. It's because the deeper this story goes, the harder it gets to tell where the lies end and the truth begins.